This is the Lego sorting center. Now, it might look a little bit like one of our earlier models, the bucket wheel excavator, links right here. And that's because it's actually a 2-in-1 model of the bucket wheel excavator. So let me explain that for a second. 2-in-1 basically means that this model is the bucket wheel excavator. So you have your bucket wheel excavator, and if I wanted to, I could destroy the bucket wheel excavator, and I could actually get free instructions from lego.com, and I could download a free PDF, follow those instructions after I destroy the bucket wheel excavator, and build this. This also has this, which, if you remember correctly, is the exact same model that was with the bucket wheel excavator. So, if I wanted to, I could drive this right here. Actually, I can put it just like that. Now, how does this work and what does it sort? This right here is rubble, and it actually comes with the bucket wheel excavator. So you have 2 sizes and 2 different colors of each size. So these are all the different types. You have your bigger pieces and your little pieces, and they come in 2 different colors, light gray and dark gray, I like to say. Some people might call this bluish gray. I just call it light gray. Anyways, that's not the correct amount. We just kind of found them from our pieces. But if I put them in this hopper almost, there's actually a small conveyor belt in the center which moves super slowly to put them into a little hole. So if I dump it in the hopper, there's a battery in the back, and if I start the battery, it will start to move, but it doesn't actually move. So there's a little lever right here. I believe this one. Nope, other one. It's a little tricky to remember. And other way. It starts to move a lot of things. So let me explain. This conveyor belt and this conveyor belt are the 2 different types of rubble. So on here, you have this type, and this came out because it wasn't quite ready. So I'll just put any pieces that are wrong in there. So this conveyor belt's for this type, and this conveyor belt is for this type. So what it's doing right now is it's slowly feeding it into a little track like this, not a normal track. It's actually a whole bunch of bars that are lined up, and they're at a slight angle, and they go like that. And as it jerks it almost, the big pieces can't fall through the gap, but all the little pieces can fall right through, go down a little ramp almost, and go up here. And the big pieces get stuck, and they slowly get moved on to this conveyor belt. So I'm just gonna put this right here, put this off to the side. And it's very slowly moving it. In the meantime, I'm gonna show you some of the things it can do to move. So if I twist either this gear or the gear on the other side, these 2 pistons will slowly move. So this is raising. There. And I had a couple more pieces that fell out. And I'm gonna move this back down. And it even goes lower, but because nothing's really coming, move it to its lowest position, and that is right about here. And that's a little bit too low. So I'm gonna raise it up and then raise it up a little bit more for this. Because this bin is a little bit too high, they kind of can fall off on the edges right here, but you can fix that if you get a smaller bin. All throughout the model, a little bit of an issue, but these guys can fall out a little bit, but that's okay. So, not really doing anything right now, but there is a little thing over here on this side that if you push it, it will do the same thing as when it does that. So when it jumps, basically. So now, because I didn't really do this, there's actually a lot of these that made it to here, so I'll just put those right there. That's because it kind of got gummed up, and the little pieces just went and didn't really care about the holes. And there's a lot of these guys stuck in here because they don't really roll. They're cylinders and not balls, and that makes a huge difference. Another thing is this gear and another gear on the other side, if you twist it, it'll start to move. So it goes right there and right there. Move it back to there. And John, could you actually get me a long axle? Thank you. If I get a long axle, this is actually kind of a twisty one, on purpose. I can kind of get the rest of these out. The rest of them. Uh-oh, that's not good. Well, pretty much done. And let's stop that for a moment. Now, if we twist the lever the other way, over here, this lever didn't really do anything before, but if I move it, it starts to move. So that's forward. And that is backwards. Kind of lurches. It's a little bit too far. And yeah. Well, these pieces kind of fell out, so I'm going to just put them right there. Let's see how well it did. And whenever I run this, kind of have to shake it a little. That about does it. And right now it's disengaged, so I can kind of do that. Kind of clean things up a bit. And those are all the pieces that didn't quite make it through the system, so I'm just putting them in the right things. Well, let's see how they did. Now, of course, none of the big pieces got in the little bin because big pieces literally can't fit. But in this bin, there are a few stragglers because they kind of overrode these and kind of just slipped past. But if I wanted to, I could put all of them, or at least all of these guys, back in the hopper, and it would sort all of these out. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please consider subscribing and hit that notification bell to see when we do our next model.